As we all are becoming more conscious about what is in our foods, our drinks, the medicines that we take, something we often overlook are some of the simple things that we use every day. And one of those is our toothpaste. So today we're going to show you our simple 3-ingredient homemade toothpaste that you can use to replace that store-bought tube. Instead of a laundry list of toxins, we're using a simple powerhouse trio. First is going to be our coconut oil. It acts as our antibacterial base, naturally fighting off Streptococcus mutans, and those are the main bacteria behind tooth decay. Second, we're going to be using baking soda. And we're using baking soda because it's a very gentle alkaline abrasive that's going to neutralize cavity-causing acids and scrub away any surface stains. And third, and this ingredient is something you can leave out if you choose, is xylitol, which is a natural birch sugar, and it helps to mask the salty taste of the baking soda, but it also starves plaque bacteria, helping your teeth to remineralize naturally. So it doesn't matter the brand of the items that you're using. These just happen to be what we have on hand. A few things you do want to keep in mind. You're going to be using the solid form of coconut oil, not something that stays as a liquid. Your baking soda is just baking soda. The xylitol, there is one warning that I need to make sure that I give. This is food safe for people, but it is toxic for dogs. So that's why I said some people may choose not to use it at all. I use a container with a screw-on lid that's kept in our medicine cabinet far away from our pets. So I don't have to worry about my dog getting into my toothpaste. But if that is a concern for you, you may want to leave this out of your ingredients. If you do, you may want to substitute 10 or so drops of an essential oil of a peppermint. You can also add oregano essential oil, a few drops of that too, if you want, as it does have some benefits as well. So let's start getting this stuff together and make our toothpaste. So the reason I'm using the hard coconut oil, or the coconut oil that does become a solid as opposed to just liquid coconut oil, is you don't want a fully liquid toothpaste. Now, one thing with coconut oil that you will find is coconut oil has a low melt temperature. So in the winter, you're going to find this is going to be a little bit harder, and in the summer, it's going to be a little bit softer. But as we keep our coconut oil in the fridge, and I need to use 4 tablespoons of softened coconut oil. I'm going to take out a little more than 4 tablespoons. I'm going to get that softened up. Any that I have left over after I measure out my 4 tablespoons, I can always put back into my jar and back in the fridge. So let me get our coconut oil ready before we move on to the next ingredient. So while my coconut oil is softening on the stove, the first thing I want to do is mix together my dry ingredients, and that's going to be my baking soda and my xylitol. So all I need is a tablespoon, a fork, and the container that I'm going to be putting it in, and I'm just using a small canning jar. So the first thing I'm going to do is 4 tablespoons, which is going to be equal to my coconut oil, of my baking soda. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of baking soda. Then I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of the xylitol. And this is the point at which, when you're putting your coconut oil in, if you're not using the xylitol, is when you would put in your essential oil. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of my birch sugar. Put that in. And then very simply, we're just going to take our fork. We're going to stir these together. And I'm going to break up any lumps there might be of the baking soda and have that ready. And as soon as my coconut oil is softened, I'll be right back. So I've softened my coconut oil down till it's a liquid because it's just going to harden again. And I have my 4 tablespoons here, which is actually a 1/4 cup. And I'm just going to pour that in carefully so I try not to spill it everywhere, though that does sometimes happen. And then I'm just going to take my fork and stir the liquid and solids together. Basically, the xylitol is just going to melt. So I'm just going to keep stirring this until I have everything that is a solid and dry mixed in. And once that's all mixed in, I'll be right back. So it's that easy. Now, right now, this is still liquidy because my coconut oil was warm. Now, for any of you out there who do oil pulling with coconut oil on a regular basis to improve your dental health, having the coconut oil in here also helps with giving you those beneficial effects. So I'm going to just take this and set it aside. It will start to solidify as it cools down. Now, in the winter, if this is too solid for you to use, you can always use a spoon or a popsicle stick or something to help you get it out of the jar. In the summer, if it just gets way too liquidy because your house is very warm, you might want to put it in some place that's a little bit cooler. Remembering, just keep this away from your pets because you don't want them to get into it. So the benefits of making your own toothpaste are multifold. Now, you know what's in the toothpaste that you're using. And since this is something that you're putting in your mouth and rubbing on your gums every single day, it's important to know what that is. And that's one great reason to use it. Another one is it only costs pennies per batch to make. Now, if you have people in your family who prefer different flavors, somebody may like cinnamon, somebody may like peppermint, somebody may like it plain. It's easy enough, quick enough, and cheap enough so everybody can have their own container, or you can have one in each bathroom, depending how your house is set up, to make it more customizable for what you personally like. Now, if you make your own toothpaste, make sure that you leave us a note in the comments. Let us know if this is similar to your recipe, if you do something completely different. If you have a favorite flavor of toothpaste, something I like to add that I think adds a great flavor is actually fennel. It adds a really nice flavor to our toothpaste as well. So that's an option too that I hadn't thought about earlier. Now, I will make sure that I leave the ingredient list and all the information in the description. I'll also add a pinned comment onto the video. So if you want to try making this yourself, let me know how it comes out and how your family likes it. And until next time, everybody.